was sitting at the diner, just another Friday night. Coffee growing cold, couldn't get my head on right. Lost my job that morning, bills were stacking high, when an old man took the seat beside me with a weathered smile. His hands were thick and calloused, burn marks on his arms. Said he'd spent his life with fire, fixing broken farms. Son, you look like thunder, like the world has let you down. I've been welding steel for 40 years in this old town. He said life's a lot like metal, boy, it bends before it breaks. Sometimes you gotta heat it up for the strong repairs it takes. When everything falls apart on you, don't throw it all away. A good welder knows that broken things can shine another day. He told me about the tractors that he brought back from the dead. Rusted out and worthless, that's what everyone had said. But he'd work them piece by piece until they ran like new. Sometimes the most beautiful word comes from what looked through. He said life's a lot like metal, boy, it bends before it breaks. Sometimes you gotta heat it up for the strong repairs it takes. When everything falls apart on you, don't throw it all away. A good welder knows that broken things can shine another day. He left his number on a napkin, said to call if I need a word. There's dignity in fixing things, son, that's what makes it work. Now I'm learning how to mend what time and trouble tear apart, finding out that steady hands can heal a broken heart. 6 months later, I'm still here, torch steady in my hand, building bridges and mending fences all across this land. And when young folks come around here looking lost and torn, I tell them what that old man taught me on that bit of morn. I said life's a lot like metal, friend, it bends before it breaks. Sometimes you gotta heat it up for the strong repairs it takes. When everything falls apart on you, don't throw it all away. A good welder knows that broken things can shine another day. Yeah, broken things can shine another day. Down at the diner, down at the diner, coffee getting cold, coffee getting cold. Met a man, old hands, stained with work, stained with years. He said, son, he said, son, you can't force the metal, can't force the metal. Let the heat, let the heat do its work, do its work. He said, son, he said, son. Been welding 40 years or more, 40 years or more. Every joint, every scene tells a story, tells a story. He He said, son, you can't force the metal, can't force the metal. Let the heat, let the heat do its work, do its work. He said, son, oh, he said, son. Some things break, some things break, some things bend, some things bend. But with time, they mend again, they mend again. Left that diner, left that diner. Words still burning, words still burning. In my mind, like a flame, like a flame. He said, son, he said, son, you can't force the metal, you can't force the metal. Let the heat, let the heat do its work, do its work, do its work. He said, son, he said, son. Down at the diner, down at the diner. Lesson learned, lesson learned. I was sitting on the dock that morning, rod in hand but heart was heavy. Old man wandered down beside me, said, son, you look like hell, what's wrong? I told him about the mess I'd made, how I'd lost what mattered most. He said, boy, the water don't care about your troubles or your fear. Sometimes you cast your line out there, and sometimes nothing bites for years. But the ones worth keeping always fight before they come to shore. He pulled a flask from his old jacket, took a sip and passed it over. 40 years I worked these waters, learned a thing or two about waiting. See that current way out yonder, fights like hell but goes nowhere. He said, boy, the water don't care about your troubles or your fear. Sometimes you cast your line out there, and sometimes nothing bites for years. But the ones worth keeping always fight before they come to shore. Now I think about his words when the world gets too damn heavy, how he smiled and walked away, left me sitting with his wisdom. Some things can't be forced or hurried, some things just take their time. Been 5 years since that conversation. Still go fishing when I'm restless, and I hear his voice in every ripple dancing on the surface, telling me to trust the process, let the current do its work. He said, boy, the water don't care about your troubles or your fear. Sometimes you cast your line out there, and sometimes nothing bites for years. But the ones worth keeping always fight before they come to shore. Yeah, the ones shore. Met him at the truck stop off Route 9. Coffee black as midnight, hands lined with grime. Said he'd been welding steel for 40 years or more, watching sparks fly up like prayers through workshop doors. I told him how I'd lost my way somehow. Everything I'd built had crumbled down. He just nodded slow and stirred his cup. I said, son, let me tell you what. Every joint that's gonna hold needs heat before it takes the mold. Can't rush the flame or force to sing. Some things break before they're strong. Yelped about the metal in his tray. If it dropped a band, the fire ain't something to evade. The weak spots always show, he said with knowing eyes. But that's where all the learning lies. Pulled a business card from his shirt pocket, worn and bent, but numbers still upon it. Said, when you're ready to begin again, give me a call, I'll teach you then. Every joint that's gonna hold needs heat before it takes the mold. Can't rush the flame or force the scene. Someday crave or force the same. Some things break before they're strong. Now when the weight gets heavy on my chest, I remember what that old man blessed. But breaking ain't the ending of the tale. Sometimes you bend so you won't fail. 6 months later, all back on track. Went to thank him, but he moved on back to where the welders go to rest. But his lesson lives inside my chest. Every joint that's gonna hold needs heat before it takes the mold. Can't rush the flame or force you. Some things break before they're strong. Some things break before they're strong. Some things break before they're strong. I was sitting on the dock that morning, rod in hand but heart was heavy. Old man wandered down beside me, said, son, you look like hell, what's wrong? I told him about the mess I'd made, how I'd lost what mattered most. He said, boy, the water don't care about your troubles or your fear. Sometimes you cast your line out there, and sometimes nothing bites for years. But the ones worth keeping always fight before they come to shore. He pulled a flask from his old jacket, took a sip and passed it over. 40 years I worked these waters, learned a thing or two about waiting. See that current way out yonder, fights like hell but goes nowhere. He said, boy, the water don't care about your troubles or your fear. Sometimes you cast your line out there, and sometimes nothing bites for years. But the ones worth keeping always fight before they come to shore. Now I think about his words when the world gets too damn heavy, how he smiled and walked away. Left me sitting with his wisdom. Some things can't be forced or hurried. Some things just take their time. Been 5 years since that conversation. Still go fishing when I'm restless, and I hear his voice in every ripple dancing on the surface, telling me to trust the process, let the current do its work. He said, boy, the water don't care about your troubles or your fear. Sometimes you cast your line out there, and sometimes nothing bites for years. But the ones worth keeping always fight before they come to shore. Yeah, the ones worth keeping always fight before they come to shore. To that old garage, engine knocking wouldn't start. Old man wiped his greasy hands, said, son, I've seen this part. Been fixing cars for 40 years, seen engines come and go. Some folks rush to change the oil, others let the pressure show. Sometimes you gotta let it idle down. Sometimes you gotta let it idle. He popped the hood and shook his head, this motor's running hot. You've been pushing way too hard, time to give it what it's got. See that gauge there on the dash, when it's red you gotta stop. Can't keep going when she's burning, or the whole thing's gonna pop. Sometimes you gotta let it idle down. Sometimes you gotta let it idle. Now when my life gets overheated and I'm pushing past the line, I remember that old mechanic and I take my time. Let it idle, let it cool down, let it idle. Fixed my car that afternoon, didn't charge me much at all. Said the lesson's worth more than money when you're headed for a fall. Been driving easy ever since, watching that temperature gauge. Sometimes slowing down's the answer when you're burning up with rage. Sometimes you gotta let it idle down. Sometimes you gotta let it idle. Let it idle down. Let it idle down. Sometimes you gotta let